What up?
Hot for justice, ers.
I liked how aggressive the was this time around.
Thank you. I'll make sure I do that in the future.
Yes.
So we are literally marathon potting right now, you guys.
Yeah, this is our fourth one we've done in a row now.
Again. Baby's sleeping.
So we are getting it done.
Yeah. The husbands are on baby duty.
Yes. And hopefully we get far enough ahead that if there's ever issues, we are good.
Hopefully. So, probably have to feed her soon. My boobs are getting full.
Breastfeeding probs.
Yeah.
Hashtag
It's going to be
apparently.
really fun when we go on our cruise. I'm going to have to pump like every couple hours.
Oh my god.
And then probably just dump the milk out because we're probably going to be drunk the whole 4 days.
Oh yeah, if we're not, like, we're doing something wrong.
It's going to suck. That's a lot of work, man. Just to waste all that milk.
It sounds like a waste. Wasted resources, truly.
It is. But, anyways.
I mean, that's a hot commod, you know?
It is. It takes so much work.
I mean, I have no idea. But
it's like 30-minute process for both of them. I mean, yeah.
Like both boobies?
Yes. Really. So, like, we were looking for fabric for me and Audrey's business thing that we were thinking about doing. And they totally had boob fabric, and I was like, we should do that.
Like, there's, like, fabric with titties printed on it?
Yeah.
Stop it.
I thought it was really funny, because, I mean, what are kids' favorite things? Like, babies. Boobs.
What are a lot of people's favorite things?
I'm literally just a pair of tits to this kid. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, well, I'm going to jump into my murder.
Do it.
So, this is about what is known as the Killing Field.
That name sounds vaguely familiar to me.
It's creepy. It's not in California. Sorry, not sorry. I'm doing one from Texas today.
I do ones from all over the place.
Yeah, you do. This is my first time. So, February 2nd, 1986, 2 boys were riding their dirt bikes along Calder Road in Lake City, Texas, when they noticed a terrible smell.
Oh, no.
It's never a good sign.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Nope. They actually discovered the bodies of 2 women. One of them was identified fairly quickly as 16-year-old high school sophomore Laura Miller. She had last been seen using a payphone in 1984, which is 2 years prior to when she was found.
Huh.
So she must have already been decomposed, but there was another body that probably smelled, right?
Right, I was very confused.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
The other body remained unidentified.
Ew.
And 5 years later, in 1989, 4 years later.
I know, I was like, when did you say this happened?
3 years later. 3 years later, 1989. This article does not mask the person who wrote this, which also...
Is he related to us?
Probably. Oh, she. So I got these from a People magazine article and a KCBD. One is by Elaine Aradillis and one is Stephanie Fraser. Just, citing my sources. Okay. In 1989, horseback riders in the same area came upon another decomposing body who also remained unidentified, and she became known as Janet Doe. The first one they called Jane Doe. The second one, Janet Doe.
Okay, I was gonna say, was Janet already taken?
Yeah. So,
Jane. Jesus, was Jane already taken?
Yeah. So, since 1971, 12 murder victims have been found in this area.
Oh my God!
It is a 25-acre site close to Interstate 45 between Galveston, Texas, and Houston, Texas. Investigators and the FBI believe some of the cases related, but not all of them.
Probably.
Yes.
I think it's so kind of... I mean, when there's, like, a lot of things found in one area, I think it's safe to assume, but also semi-irresponsible to assume that they're all related.
Yeah, I think definitely some of them, but, like, probably... I mean, you think about it, once the news probably started coming out about this, then people were like, oh, easy, I can just dump the body here.
Right.
So... now with the progression of DNA and genealogy, these Jane Does were entered into a national genealogy database. So I'm not sure if they mean like probably a DNA database and then like got familial matches with genealogy.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
I think that sounds intelligent.
Yeah. So the Jane Doe, the first body found, is Audrey Lee Cook, who was 30 years old when she went missing in 1985, and she was found in 1986.
So there's quite a bit of an age gap between these people.
Yes.
Yeah, because the other one was, like, 15, 16?
Yes.
Yeah.
Audrey was from Memphis, Tennessee, and she was a mechanic. Her family had last heard from her in December of 1985 when her body was found like that next February. So it was actually only like a couple months.
Wild.
Yeah. Whereas the 16-year-old, there was like a 2-year difference.
Yeah.
Associates of hers around that time believed that she used to buy and sell cocaine. So that
good for her.
That was probably, it could have been like related to that.
Well, she said she like sold it?
Yes.
Okay, probably a drug deal gone wrong.
Yeah.
Or I mean, that's probably what people assumed.
Yeah.
Sounds like there's probably more to it than that. Keep talking.
Likely, yeah. The Janet Doe was identified as Donna Dosulin Prudhomme, who was 34 at the time of her death. Yeah, so, it says, see, the article is a little confusing because, it said she died in 1991, but these bodies were found in 1989, so there might have been, like, I mean, obviously there's 12 victims, so
right.
It's possible that, like, I think the article was definitely a little confused. So, yeah.
The article, not the person that wrote it.
Yeah, the article. Just article, not the person. The article wrote itself. So another woman who was found in this killing field, another woman was found in this killing field, and she was identified as 25-year-old Heidi Faye. A family dog actually found her skull and brought it home.
Ah!
And then police were called, and they searched the field, and they found the rest of her remains.
Could you imagine if one of your dogs did that?
I would shit my pants. When we were camping one time with
Why
Harlow,
was that a segue?
Oh, I know. Okay, well, listen. We were camping, which, okay, creepy, in the middle of the woods, and we brought Harlow with us, because, Pitbull, she's, we feel safe. Granted, she was a tiny baby. She was, like, 4 months old. We let her off her leash, and she was kind of just roaming, and she fucking found a bone, and I'm like, what if this was, like, a human bone? But I'm pretty sure it was not, and we threw it away, like, so she would leave it alone, and she brought it back.
Some people's kids, man.
I know. It was great. But anyways,
yeah, I thought you were gonna say like she brought back some like fucking human skeleton and
no, I'm pretty sure it was an animal bone. But anyways,
let's just hope.
So some of these bodies are identified, some are not. The police believe they're hunting for a serial killer in some fashion.
Right.
So,
but fucking A.
Yeah. Go look at pictures. Like I always say, you like literally never know what you might know or your family might know, and it might be so seemingly inconsequential that you just don't think to talk about it. But that's kind of the point of this podcast, is to jog memories and, talk about it. So do it. Share it with your fam and your friends and
coworkers, whoever.
Yeah. Maybe read the article, because maybe I'm confused, so maybe it wasn't the article. Anyway, so that's all I have for you.
All right. Sue, I will be talking about the Sarasota Mummy Murder.
Mummy.
The mysterious death of Chandler Steffens.
Okay.
At least I'm almost certain it's Steffens.
Chandler's a man.
Yes.
Okay.
Like Chandler from Friends.
Okay. I was
just like
say that. I was just going to say that. Okay.
This is written on Reddit by a user by the name of MillSC616, or maybe MillsC. I don't know.
Whatevs.
All I know is shouts to you.
Thanks for your research.
Yes, because you probably did a lot better than I could have.
Hey, it's hard.
It is hard.
Sometimes there's like just nothing about cases.
Yeah, and like this one's actually patched together from like a lot of news articles and shit. So, again, shouts to you, Mill. Or Mills, I don't know.
Whatevs.
You the shit. Okay. So, 1955 in Sarasota, Florida, two high school sweethearts. How cute.
Aww.
Senior football player Chandler Chan Steffens and sophomore... what a nickname.
Yeah,
like,
Chan, come here.
Sounds like a cat.
Yeah, kinda, you're right.
Actually, fun fact, me and my parents, when I was growing up, we had two cats, and they were Chandler and Phoebe.
I love that.
Yeah.
Phoebe.
Yeah.
My phone's vibrating loudly, so I have to turn it off. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, they were the shit.
Phoebe.
We ended up giving Phoebe away to my cousin, because she wanted a pet, and wanted to keep it in the family. Yeah, and like Chandler and Phoebe, like they were siblings, I'm pretty sure, but like they like kind of didn't really get along.
Yeah.
And we had another cat at the time too that was like a real big bitch.
Gotcha.
Her name was Lily. She was fucking insane, dude.
That's funny.
Like she would always like bring home like dead animals and stuff.
Oh, rude.
I know, because she was like indoor outdoor. Yeah. But, so all the cats were indoor, outdoor. Okay. Chandler was outside, and, like, I remember, oh, God, this is, like, the saddest fucking thing I'm about to tell.
Am I gonna cry?
Probably. Okay. I'm actually getting a little emotional thinking about it, but, I was, like, probably, like, 6 or 7 at the time, I want to say. It was a 2-story home, and I was looking out, like, the window from the second story, and I could see him, like, walking on, like, the hill kind of behind our house, and there was, like, a road on the hill, and I was like, oh my God, it's Chandler, and literally, as soon as I said, oh my God, it's Chandler.
Nope.
Yes.
No.
I know. And then I was like, oh my God.
That's terrible.
Fucking awful.
Now my boobs are leaking.
So yeah.
Okay.
That was very upsetting to 7-year-old Jaymie.
I bet.
Watching your cat get hit by a car. It was truly the saddest thing.
Well, my boobs are sad for you too.
Write that down. My boobs are sad for you too. Yeah, senior football player Chandler Chan Steffens and sophomore Betty Jane Thompson got married. Chan was the grandson of former chairman of Scripps Howard, which is a company that owns several newspapers in Florida, I'm assuming.
Okay.
And Betty was the daughter of a wealthy celery businessman.
Celery. Gross.
Yeah, first of all, celery's fucking nasty.
Yeah.
It's a useless vegetable.
It is.
I don't care if it has negative calories or whatever.
Ew.
And also, all those bitches that, like, juice celery and drink celery juice, it makes me want to vom.
Ew. Seriously.
Like,
no.
Hard pass.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a green juice with celery in it, I won't drink it. Like, I'm down for a green juice, whatever.
Yeah,
like, that's
but
fine.
Not just celery.
No.
You want to put, like, a whole thing of sugar in it. Just kidding. Ew, it's gross.
But I was a little bit confused by the term celery businessman. I was like, what does that even mean?
He's a farmer?
So basically he either, like, owned a farm or did the farming. Fair. Apparently, Florida has a lot of celery crops. I didn't know that. I thought all they grew was fucking oranges.
Yeah, same.
I don't know. So, the more you know.
Did you know Disneyland used to be an orange mangrove?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Anyways.
Actually, you know what? I did know that because I've done that stupid Soaring Over California ride or whatever that it's called. Yeah. And they talk about that.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So I just forgot. See, I knew things. I just, couldn't remember them.
We know the things sometimes.
Yeah, not always. In fact, more often than not, we don't.
Yeah, but it's fine.
But I knew that one. I just done forgot that I knew it.
Done forgot. Okay.
So celery, she was a celery business heiress. Chandler hadn't always had an easy life. In 1950, his parents, Nina and Kenneth, had gotten a divorce. His mother moved to New York, and his father and stepmother spent most of their time in Mexico, as his father wanted to avoid paying alimony payments to his ex-wife.
Mood.
Honestly, fucking a big power move.
Okay, listen. I saw a meme on Facebook, and it was like something like my dad and my mom, or I don't know, these two people got divorced, and the dad got new checks with his new wife and his picture on it, and then wrote his alimony checks on those to his ex-wife.
That's the level of petty I aspire to be.
Really? I love it.
That's fucking spectacular.
It's like, yeah, it's a mood.
Yeah, like, I mean, I love some petty bullshit.
Dude, I'm here for it. Okay, speaking of petting, I really have to tell this story.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't remember what. Wes and I got in a minor squabble about something, and I was hella annoyed at him, and he hates it when I slam the doors. So at this point, after nearly 10 years of marriage, I do it on purpose. So I quit in the bedroom, and I minorly slam the door.
Sminorly slam the door.
Sminorly. And he did not. Normally he comes in and he's like, don't slam the door! But he didn't do anything, so I was like, I was mad that he didn't do anything,
So you were bitchy for no reason.
I was. So, you know what he did? Do you know what he did?
I don't. Tell me.
He comes in at 4 a.m. because he has insomnia. He's getting ready for bed. Normally, he closes the door in the bathroom to brush his teeth and stuff.
Yeah.
Leaves the door open, turns the light on. And I'm like, turn the light off.
And for those of you who don't know, the way their bedroom is configured, like, your side of the bed is right next to the bathroom.
Yeah, so
and it's a pretty, wide open area.
Yes.
So light just would leak right onto your face hole.
Yep, my face. And we have a sliding, kind of like a barn door, so it's a pretty big door.
Yeah.
Entryway. Okay. I'm like, so as soon as I say that, he's like,
He's like, eat this, bitch.
Yes. He turns on his toothbrush, his Sonicare Loud Ouse toothbrush, and comes and brushes his teeth right next to my head.
Stop it. Stop that right now.
Then he goes in the bathroom, does his thing, brings his water pick.
Which is the world's loudest instrument.
It really is. It's a water flosser for those of you who don't know.
And it deadass sounds exactly like this.
Yeah, but louder.
Yeah.
Like times 10. And he water flosses next to my head. And I'm like, are you kidding? At this point, I'm like, seriously, I probably cussed at him a little bit.
And you were probably a little bit homicidal.
I was. And then he comes and he lays on me with his cold ass feet. And he's like, you're warm. And I'm like, get off me. Because I had to wake up to go to work. And he almost died that night. But he didn't.
Somehow he lived to not tell the tale.
He's lucky because our roommate's a cop now. So I would have gotten arrested.
Real quick.
In like 2 seconds.
Like the quickest.
Shit. It's fine. Anyways, we made up. But in retaliation, I'm like, you know what I'm going to do to this mother effer? In the morning, when he gets like maybe 2 or 3 hours of sleep, just like when you're like peak in your sleep.
Peep snoozing.
I was going to blow dry my not wet hair right next to his head.
If that ain't the pettiest bullshit I ever heard.
Loud.
Oh yeah, blow dryers are not quiet.
Right next to his head. But I didn't. I ended up apologizing, and that's the end of my petty story. But anyways, if you guys want to know how petty I am, that's how petty.
Yeah.
And Wes is just as petty as I am, so it's fine.
It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, we are.
Petty heaven.
Continue.
So I guess fun fact, there's actually a warrant out in Sarasota, Florida for Kenneth's arrest because he failed to pay said alimony dues.
Yeah. That happens.
It does. And honestly, again, that's a whole ass mood.
It is.
Like, go on down to Mexico, let your freak flag fly.
Yeah.
And, fuck that bitch.
Arriba.
Viva!
Right.
In 1954, Chan quits the football team because he didn't want to follow the training rules, which is,
Okay.
again, a power move.
He's petty.
Yeah,
Okay.
he also petty. This is a petty-ass family.
Yeah. Okay.
He was contradictorily... I don't think I said that right.
No.
Contradictorily. That's worse.
I don't honestly know because I use it. No, I don't use that word that way.
Because
English. With Jess and Jaymie.
I'm looking at this word. Because I want to say contradictory.
Contradictorily. I don't know. Whatever.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
Sure.
In contrary. There you go.
No, because the rest of the sentence won't make sense with that.
Well, just try it.
Chan was in the contrary.
Damn it. Okay.
Described by teachers as nervous, erratic, but also sharp and extroverted.
Okay.
So, because I guess those things sound like they're contradictory to each other.
Okay, they are.
So there we go. That's how I'm going to reword this and make it make sense in Jamie's brain.
Yay, we graduated college.
And this bitch has 2 masters. Not in English.
Not in English.
No, just like everything else.
Yes.
Except math.
Just 2 things, though.
That are not math or English.
That are not math.
Nevertheless, he and Betty seemed to be deeply in love and got married. How sweet.
Cute.
After he graduated high school, he was accepted to the University of Ohio, and they moved to Cincinnati, where they had 2 children, Michael and Patrice.
Patrice.
Not a fan of that name.
I think it's kind of fancy.
I guess it is kind of fancy, but it also sounds like someone that's probably a bitch.
That's Karen.
Like fucking Patrice.
Maybe.
Did you watch How I Met Your Mother?
No.
Never mind.
Don't like it. Sorry.
Okay, well,
just like I don't like The Office. Don't at me.
Never mind. All right. Well, there's a character in How I Met Your Mother, Robin Scherbatsky. One of her coworkers is named Patrice.
Okay.
And like all the time she's like, Patrice!
All the time.
So I think that's why that name is like seems bitchy to me.
Okay, that's fair.
Or like someone that you don't like.
Yes.
If your name is Patrice and you're listening, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Not sorry.
You're not a Karen, I promise.
And if your name's Karen, we're sorry.
We're sorry for all of the shit you have to put up with as a Karen. Apparently I got so heated about that my Apple Watch was like, it's time to breathe.
Ooh. I'm here for that.
Yeah. Fucking Patrice. However, due to the stress of raising their family, Chan dropped out of school his junior year. In 1959, the family returned to Florida so he could attend the University of Florida in Gainesville. At that point, the marriage became even more strained. He would leave at night without telling Betty where he was going, and apparently treated her as more of a homemaker than a romantic partner. AKA, he was probably out fucking some other bitches.
Yeah.
They also fought frequently. In a newspaper clipping in the Tampa Bay Times, dated August 12th of 1959, Betty claimed that he cursed her and criticized her in front of her friends, and that he always found fault with her. He showed little affection, and apparently he believed that he had married too young.
Rude.
Right? When Chan was staying in Gainesville to attend summer school, Betty moved back to Sarasota with her children and lived with her parents, eventually filing for divorce on July the 14th, exciting extreme cruelty. Good for you.
Yeah. You don't deserve that.
Nope. He finished summer school and on August 5th drove to Sarasota to reunite with Betty. His attorneys filed a motion to dismiss the divorce suit, which I didn't even know you could kind of do.
Right. Like, what, you just, I want to get divorced, you can't divorce me.
But, like, it's like when people, like, just don't sign the paperwork.
Yeah.
Because, like...
But, like, eventually you have to be able, like, you can't just hold somebody hostage.
No, I think there's, like, a limit of time where they can, like, kind of hem and haw and not sign the paperwork.
Yeah. Just be like, okay.
But there's, like, I forget how long it is, but it might vary by state. Yeah, but there's, like, probably a limitation, and, like, then if they haven't signed it in so long and you're still, like, wanting to go through with it, they
if you're a lawyer, let us know. You can add us on that.
Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah, only that.
Just that one exact instance.
Yes. Let us know.
Especially if I guess it's in Florida. Let us know.
Yeah, or California.
The other 48 can fuck off.
Yes, exactly. They don't matter.
No.
Especially Texas. Just kidding.
Wasn't your murder from Texas?
Yeah, but not a fan. I'm just kidding, though. Not really. Texas is really humid and it's kind of ugly. And I don't understand why people are, like, so diehard about Texas.
Jessica hates Tejas.
But let me tell you, California is not all flowers and roses either. It's expensive.
No, fuck no. It's mostly poppies.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Okay, continue. Karen.
I paid attention in California history in the 4th grade.
Don't pick the poppies. They're a state flower.
Just the gold ones.
Oh, okay. You can pick red ones?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't think there's any issues with those.
I'm going to pick a bunch of gold ones and leave them on your doorstep and then call the police on
you. And this is the end of the podcast. Thank you, next. It's been real.
We are not friends anymore.
We broke up. Fuck. Okay. The couple decided to give their marriage another try for the sake of their young children, which I respect. However, that's a bad example to set for what your kids should think love is.
Right.
Or whatever.
For real. I agree.
If you believe in love.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I do.
Okay, great. So Betty's father, L.T. Thompson, told a journalist to the Lakeland Ledger, Betty seemed very happy when they got back together. It must have gone well, as Betty promised to drop the divorce proceedings and return to Gainesville for his senior year of college. So that evening on August 5th of 1959, when he, like, came to try to, like, reconnect, he was staying at house 934 Yale Court, that was owned and rented out by his stepmother. So he was renting it at the time.
Okay.
It was said that he had a bad habit of not locking the doors at night and liking to prop the door open at night to get air moving while he was sleeping. Because it was, hot as balls in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
And humid as fuck.
Yeah. Yes.
His stepmother actually left him a note reminding him to lock the doors because there was an increase in crime in the area at the time. Very few people would have known that he was staying there.
Okay.
So now on to the murder.
My baby is crying.
Yes. How are your tits doing?
They're probably going to start crying soon.
Excellent. I will try to get through this in a swiftish fashion.
Okay.
There's quite a bit to it. So.
I'll stop segueing then. You hit it. Hit the
gas. We'll never stop segueing. Just impossible. Also, I'm dying right now. You guys look so cute. I'm going to take a picture real quick of what's happening right now.
And boomerang it. And then we'll post it so you guys can, when we post this episode, we will post this boomerang. And then you can understand what's happening right now.
I'm not going to tell them what it is either. It's just...
it's gold. I mean, it's nothing inappropriate. Don't worry.
Not at all.
Get your minds out of the gutter.
Perverts.
Pervs. All right.
In the early morning of August the 6th, he woke up to his living room sofa on fire. Though he attempted to put it out, the fire was so strong that he had to call the fire department. He told the patrolman that he had no idea how it started, and it was supposed that it was written off as an accident, though given the events that are about to happen, it's a very suspect event.
Your couch accidentally catches on fire? Okay.
Maybe it was next to a plug, I don't know.
Sure, Jan. Let's move on.
Maybe there was faulty wiring, something. I don't know, dude.
Okay. Maybe he lit a candle and left it on top of his couch.
Yeah, he was trying to set the mood for himself and just forgot.
Whoops.
Despite the fire, the next morning, Chan and Betty went to the Ringling Shopping Center and had dinner with Betty's parents before heading to Smacks, a local popular hangout, where they met with several friends. By around 10 o'clock, he said that he would like to go to bed as he was still feeling the effects of the fire, so he's probably just, like, stressed and just over it. It is believed that he dropped off Betty at her parents' house so that she could take care of one of the kids that was feeling sick, and then he headed back to the house that he had been renting.
Okay.
The next morning at 11:45, Betty arrived at the house because Chan had promised to call her, but he had not. When she came in, she stumbled upon a gruesome scene. She ran out of the house screaming and needed to be sedated.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Chan was found deceased in his underwear in his bedroom. There's a photo showing where the body was found. There's, like, not photo of the body, but, like, the photo of the bedroom.
Okay.
We'll include it in the show pictures with the boomerang that we just alluded to.
Yes.
The coroner estimated Chan's time of death being between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. And he left the bar at 10 p.m., so, like, not that long after.
Dang. Okay.
In totality, the crime scene painted a gruesome picture. He was tortured possibly for hours before being killed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I would suspect it was probably closer to the 3 a.m. mark.
Yeah, rather than the...
Yeah, because...
11, because, timing.
Yeah. Well, even if it hadn't been that long that he was tortured, at 11, that still doesn't make...
Yeah.
Oh my god. Dingo is so fucking heat. I'm gonna cry. So it is believed that he was bludgeoned in his sleep. His feet were bound with 2 ropes behind his back, and he was choked repeatedly with a cord from an electric fan. The killer then closed the windows and blinds, turned on the lights, fashioning a mask of surgical tape around Chan's face, leaving 2 nostril holes for respiration, hence the Mummy Murder nickname.
Okay.
He was stabbed 3 times with a cork-handled knife, the kind used by scuba divers, in the abdomen, right shoulder, and on the right side between his ribs, a wound that nicked his lung. Police found 4 separate imprints of the bloody knife on the bedsheets, indicating that perhaps the killer took time to set the knife down between stabbings to look at or admire his work.
Jeez.
Yeah. The killer slashed his throat from ear to ear, severing an artery. It would have taken him 10 minutes to bleed out. He had flung himself in agony from the bed to the floor, which was the ultimate cause of death.
That's awful.
Yeah. The assailant then washed in the bathroom and packed up his tools and one of Chan's towels, stole $70 from his wallet, but police believe that this was merely an afterthought, that robbery was not the motive.
Right.
And $70 in, like, 1959 was probably, like, a couple hundred.
Something,
Yeah.
1979.
59.
59.
Same thing.
Okay.
The killer was in the room for at least 40 minutes. They suspect, quote, whoever killed Steffens was in no hurry, says Lieutenant Arthur Johnson, in a report from the Ocala Star-Banner.
$618.
Great. That's quite a sum of money. $618. See how many tacos you can buy with that?
And you wonder why, like, people complain that we don't make enough money, because whatever. Anyway, continue. I'm gonna get off my soapbox before I get on it.
You just packed up that box and said, never mind.
It's too much. Right now, my daughter's crying, and I'm not gonna get on there. Anyway, continue.
Okay. He goes on to say that we believe that he spent a minimum of 40 minutes and probably even more than that in the act. Says another investigator, it took time and care to make the, like, tape mask. It's not the sort of thing that an ordinary prowler would do.
And, like, why? Anyway.
Yeah, the tape was wound and cut expertly. It was very cleanly done. No alcohol was found in his system during his autopsy, and there was no signs of forced entry or a struggle. Police assumed the killer came and left through an unlocked side door, which would not have been out of character for him, to leave a door unlocked. Oh, hello. Where am I? Oh, his neighbors heard nothing during the attack. His room was neat and orderly, with his pants still folded over his chair. However, one resident noted that most of the houses in the neighborhood were empty during the summer, probably because there was a lot of student housing, I would assume, or a lot of just college kids lived there.
Yeah.
Because people chose to spend their time up in the north and escape the heat.
Okay. Fair.
There were, however, fingerprints lifted from the tape that authorities had sent to the FBI for comparison. Investigators initially believed the tape came from a hospital, but Lieutenant Johnson, who has since passed away, believed that the knife, rolls of tape, and rope had been stolen from a kit at a lifeguard stand in Lido Beach, which had not been reported at the time, but because it seemed trivial. And again, they said that the knife, because it was a cork one, would float, and it's something that probably a scuba diver or someone that had some sort of aquatic activity.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, weirdly specific.
Aquatic.
The police were baffled and quickly looked at members of his immediate family for clues. He was a beneficiary of a trust fund, which paid approximately $175 per month, and he owned about $5,000 worth of Scripps Howard stock.
Okay, so, it's probably quite a bit of money.
Yeah, well, I mean, like...
if $70 is $600, then,
Say we triple that. That's like $1,800 a month that he was getting in, like, day money.
It's a lot of money.
Probably closer to $2,000.
Yeah.
Look at that mathing I just did.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. However, while he was the heir to a fortune worth $250,000, which is probably several million,
Holy crap.
his life was only insured for $15,000. So police figured that if Betty wanted his estate, she would have had to wait for his inheritance because it would have been a lot more. Police also dismissed the idea that this was the work of a hitman, as the kill took several hours and required time and effort to make the mask. Betty and her family were soon cleared from suspicion, as were their friends who might have known that he was staying in Sarasota at the time. Police wondered if perhaps someone from his past wanted revenge, but this seemed a little bit too odd, as he had only been back in town for about 48 hours, and he was staying in a rental property that wasn't even his.
Yeah. So definitely, like, somebody who knew he was there.
Yeah.
Or, like, a random, but it doesn't really sound random. Like, why would you just randomly do that?
Yeah. I mean, his stepmom did say that there was, like, a lot of, like, weird crime things happening in the area at the time, so possible that they just went to a random house. I don't know.
I mean, $70 in, like, that day's money is, that's a pretty, $600 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So,
like, if someone just handed me $600, I'd be jazzed.
Yeah. For real.
Again, like, imagine how many fucking tacos you buy with that. Like, I don't know, at least 600.
Yeah. So, at least 600. Fair.
I mean, we're assuming, Dollar Tree tacos here.
600. Yeah. It's a lot of McChickens.
So many McNugs.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways. Therefore, Police Chief Francis Scott told the Sarasota Herald Tribune, I can't read, there was a general consensus that a, quote, sex pervert was to blame for the mind and body torture slaying.
Damn,
as they believed
sex
it to
perverts.
Yeah, fucking sex perverts, like y'all listening.
Right.
And they believed maybe a person 25 years old or younger. Could it be a strange mystic ritual killing? A sex game gone wrong? They interviewed some members of the gay community of Sarasota, including an unnamed male hairdresser who left town shortly after the crime. But everyone was cleared. They also cleared many local sex offenders. More than 400 people were interviewed.
Holy crap.
So, now we get why this gets mentioned, because this is mentioned in a, in an aside, in the case of the Walker murders.
Okay.
The Walker murders occurred in December 1959 in Osprey. A suspect in that murder, Stanley Mauck, was a utility worker who had coincidentally, there's another whatever word.
Coincidentally.
He had taken meter readings at both the Walker home and the home where Chan was killed. It seemed like an unlikely coincidence, but detectives were unable to find any hard evidence tying the meter reader to either crime. Mauck was eventually committed to a mental hospital for admitting to his psychiatrist that he had an uncontrollable urge to kill his wife and 2 small children.
Okay.
Could Mauck have fatefully stumbled upon Chan during his brief time at the house? Maybe. For a while, there were no leads. Then, on August 13th of 1960, Tampa department store clerk James Leland Webb approached a sleeping stranger and bound the victim's hands before suffocating the man with a plastic bag. He was spotted and apprehended, saying that he got a thrill out of seeing, quote, relaxed flesh. In his car, detectives found a strange device with a 4-inch pencil-shaped handle and a needle about 4 inches long. However, detectives were unable to place him in Sarasota at the time of Chan's death. Webb was declared unfit to stand on trial for the other murder and was also committed to a mental institution.
Okay.
Yeah. The only other case that sparked investigators' attention occurred in a suburb of Philadelphia in October of 1963. 23-year-old James F. Robinson was found handcuffed and bound in chains in his bedroom in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania. Several strips of adhesive tape had been wound around his head.
Okay.
The similarities were striking. Both victims were attractive young men found in unlocked homes in wealthy areas, and both had connections with the world of publishing. As mentioned before, Chan was an heir to a Scripps Howard fortune. Yeah. And James Robinson was the son of a former vice president of Curtis Publishing. Okay. But the similarities end there. The tape in Swarthmore was 1 inch less wide than the one used in Sarasota. Robinson was found fully clothed, and Robinson had been choked to death by his belt, not stabbed.
Okay.
Pennsylvania authorities became convinced that James Robinson died in a self-inflicted Houdini stunt gone wrong, although his family remained skeptical.
Interesting.
Yeah. More than 3 decades after Chan's murder, a childhood acquaintance of Betty Steffens attempted to revive media interest in the crime, but no new leads were forthcoming. In 1988, the mask was sent to the FBI for testing, but no fingerprints could be found. 2 sleuths who were mentioned in a 1994 newspaper clipping say they personally have narrowed it down to about 5 people and believe that the whole sex game kinky element was done to throw off police.
I wonder if now with the technology they have, if they could figure out.
I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah, that's gnarly.
That's it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And they cleared the wife.
Yes.
Okay.
She was at her parents' house at the time.
Dang. That's sad.
Isn't that bonkers?
Normally, I would have thought it would have been her.
Right.
Especially for that time period. Like, that's more common for the women to get murdered, but...
Totally.
Dang.
So yeah, it's possible and kind of likely it was someone he knew, or it was just like a happenstance.
Yeah, probably that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow. Well, bummer.
Insane, right?
You have any fun, fresh, anything to share?
Right now I am currently reading, well, I guess listening to the audiobook for, what's that book called?
Give me a hint.
I can't think. It's the word fuck's in the title. I know that much. It's not Unfuck Yourself.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, though.
The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yeah, okay. I have that book, too. I haven't read it yet, though.
I'm like halfway through the audiobook. It's very good.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend thus far.
I just finished The Killer Across the Table by...
Ooh, what's that about?
The guy who wrote Mindhunter.
Oh,
Douglas.
Yeah.
God, I can't think of his first name.
Is it Jim Douglas?
No. John. I think it's John.
Yes, Douglas John.
Yeah.
John Douglas.
Douglas John.
Well, I typed in Mindhunter Douglas, and then...
Yeah, anyways, it was really good. I recommend. It wasn't as good as Mindhunter, but it was definitely really good. And it kind of talks about, like, actually, at the end, he talks about a murder that I'm going to do in the next couple weeks.
Oh.
It's like kind of a hometown-ish. Like, it's close by hometown, so it's a very creepy serial killer. With a kind of a personal connection, so...
To you?
To me, yeah. But, like, in a very distant way, kind of. I don't know. Nothing.
I can't wait.
Yeah, anyways. So that's it for me.
I mean, you heard it here first. We got a exclusive.
Yes. So, thanks for listening. Please go rate and comment on wherever you listen.
Share on social media.
It really helps us out. We really appreciate it. And we're going to be doing a drawing once we get some more ratings and reviews on the iTunes.
Let's say we have at least 5.
Yeah.
Right now we have 2 written reviews.
So please leave us a review.
Like some more of those.
And if they're mean, please, you don't have to. But if you have something nice or like even just something neutral to say, go ahead.
I don't know if I showed you, but on Mine and Jackson's podcast, Muggle Problems, shameless plug. Plug. We have a review that literally just says, "This is fine."
This is all fine.
Yeah, this is fine.
Jokes out. It was me. I'm just kidding.
Fuck you, bitch.
It wasn't me. But that's good. That's gold.
And honestly, it's my favorite thing that's ever been said about me in my entire life. Because it is fine. It's not great. It's not bad. It's fine.
I love it.
It fucking sent me. It's like, fantastic. I saw that one day and I was just like, stop that right now. Stop it.
So we take neutral comments too.
Yes.
Thanks for listening.
Yes, and we will catch you... This week we're only doing 1 episode, never mind.
Yeah.
So we'll catch you a week from today.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Bye.